Well, good morning everybody. There is a heap load of people here in Banana Kitchen, which on one hand makes it very difficult to have a chat, but on another hand brings great joy to see the effort and the work that the owners have put into this place from a few months ago to now, and it just goes to show consistency. Getting up every morning, opening up, cutting, prepping, getting everything ready and being quiet and hardly anybody here. But you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, and eventually you get a full house of people and more staff and busier every day and more successful every day. You know, I've just got to say, I got to take my hat off to the owner of this place, Anna, whose birthday it was a few days ago, and massive respect. Creating a business these days, a successful business, isn't the easiest of things. And it takes a very special person to do it. Most people fail in business. I would say 70% fail in business because they don't have what I believe is consistency. So normally they're taken over by fear, worry. Things aren't going well, let's stop now. But she never stopped. Even when it was quiet, she had a smile on her face and kept going. And yes, there is stress involved, of course there is, and worry, and is it going to work, isn't it? But that dream, I guess, and creating something, a baby, it's like having a baby, having a business, you've got to feed it. Every few hours you've got to feed it, and you can't just turn away from it, you can't leave it, you've got to, you know, your baby you've got to look after. And so the baby's grown now into a teenager, and it's now looking after itself, you know, and she's smiling more, and it's great. It's just bloody great for the staff because they all have a job, and they're in the sun all day, so I think it's beautiful. Anyway, that said, this conversation wasn't really about Banana Kitchen, but it's about healing. And you know, I always think to myself, everything that I've done in my life, it comes back to, you know, travel, meeting people, learning experiences, and then you come back right to yourself and the inner healer, the inner soul, the consciousness within us. And I'm asked daily, most frequently asked question, how do I heal myself? And it's a really interesting subject, and it's a very deep question, because although we are of one consciousness, we experience things in so many unique and different ways. And the physical body is something that most people don't really equate to when we talk about healing, in the sense of how do I heal my inner child, for instance. And I often used to look confused about dealing with your inner child and dealing with your timeline and psychologists and psychiatrists and all the alternative healers. And I've experienced many of these things and seen many of my clients go through these experiences, and although they're all very beautiful modalities, all of them, I can't say anything is bad, it's all an experience. So like, I would never say to somebody, don't go there. The only thing I do say is just be aware of what their healing technique is and what they're doing to make you feel, you know. So, you know, go away if it doesn't feel right. If you're unsure and you have a funny sensation inside your body, which is the consciousness saying maybe this isn't the best place, but everything is all as it should be. Where you are is where you're meant to be, and where you're going is exactly where you're taken. But ultimately, I think we have this free will to choose. Where do I go, left or right? So I go left. It doesn't feel right. I'll go right again. I'll go back again, or I'll go here. I'll go there. That's the journey. That's the journey. And we're taught as kids that that's right. Oh, that's wrong. And what if there isn't? What if that wasn't right? And what if that wasn't wrong? What if it just? You see, this idea of going to school and being schooled in the way of right and wrong, to me, is probably the most traumatic abuse that our body has ever experienced. Our mind, our thought process, not the consciousness. The consciousness obviously feels bad because it's at school and it's not really being filled with the fruits and the knowledge, which is, it's a bit like listening to somebody that you know is lying. That's how school felt to me. It really did. And there were some things that, resonated, which some things are true, but most of it is propaganda, lies, and when you realise that everything that you've been taught is a lie, or almost a lie, because there is some truths in lies, then you realise that you have to relearn, restart again, unlearn. But going back to healing is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And the more I learn over the years, I would say after about 8 years, it took about 8 years to really truly understand healing to its highest degree. Healing to me is everything as it's meant to be, in the sense of, I don't need to tell you what I'm doing. I don't need to tell you how I'm doing it. Healing is a sacred energy which speaks for itself. So when people used to come to me, they were shocked because I didn't speak. I just told them to shut up in a nice way, in a really nice way. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's all right. Just lie down. What comes into your mind, let it be. What leaves your mind, let it be. What stays, let it be. Everything's as it should be. And whatever happens in this healing session, there's nothing that you can do to make it worse or better. It's all as it should be. Just calming that limited mind down to switch off. Anyway, it doesn't even matter even if you did or didn't say anything. It's okay. You lie them down and you begin the healing process. So most healers understand this. Most healers are looking for, let's say, issues in the body that may be heavy, a little bit heavy here, a little bit heavy there. So you might feel it as a practitioner that, I had to stay there. I had to stay there in that part of your body. I had to be by your stomach. I had to be by your leg. Okay, that's because they're attuning and feeling to part of the body which isn't flowing as the life force, chi, prana should flow. Just an energy that flows through your body. And we talk about traumas, we talk about blocks, we talk about negative energy, heavy energy, entity energy. There's so many different energies, that can be within the body, which is very normal because we all go through that process as a child and we grow up. So basically what we're doing is we're healing the body system. So we might go from one place to another, we might stay at one place, and the body is fed this energy through the whole of the body system, so you don't need to move. Sometimes you feel you want to be at a certain place. So these are wonderful things. There is no right or wrong in what you're doing when you're healing somebody, just like there's no right and wrong when you hug somebody. You just hug them, it's just right. Or you hold their hand, or you touch them on the shoulder or their arm. There's no wrong and right, it's the connection of love and supporting in a way which we call energy healing. Everything is energy. After an hour and 20 minutes or 2 hours, depending on how long you feel you want to be with your clients, I normally like to be with my clients while they were lying down for an hour. Why? Because they felt better after an hour and it gave them time to clear the mind and relax and not worry about stuff. It's like, just give them time, which most of us don't give people. So after that hour, they get up and there's a change. There's an obvious change. You can see lightness. You can see the body energy strong. You can, you might see a release. purging. So the system's changed, the body's changed, the thought process has changed because you're not stuck, you're not limited by your blocks or your issues or your illness. So now you're flowing. So what does that mean? What I found was that keeping my mouth shut and not talking about anything doesn't cause any issue to that client. But what I did say is that there's a seed of light that's been planted inside you. It's like a seed, and that seed needs to grow now. And the way it grows is that the feeling that you have now, hold on to it. And if any given moment that seed of light gets dampened by any new emotion of upset, sadness, anger, any low frequency, you need to stop in that moment and ask yourself, look around, look at the environment and ask yourself, why did I just change from this lovely energy to this new energy? Now, that way you are putting the power back into your client. Why? Because you are not the healer. You are participating in a partnership of healing. So it made sense to me after so many years that they need to go away and take some responsibility by just saying that this seed of light that is now within you, which makes them feel good, and now you've got to nurture that seed of light and keep that love going, keep that happiness going, keep that inner peace going, that joy. They then take something away to then understand that whatever has changed in their biological, physical, spiritual energy field, that they now have to slightly change the way they are. They have to be aware that things have changed now. I'm not all that I was before. I'm a different energy. I'm a different higher frequency now. And if you talk about these things to your client, I found that you can talk your way out of a healing session, and you can bring them back down into that negative. So words are cheap when it comes to healing, in my humble opinion. That's just my opinion. Some people talk to people and heal them in that way, but in pure energy healing, pure means that there's no need to talk, that you can feel it, and the energy speaks for itself. It heals for itself. So the combination of shutting my mouth, the combination of at the end of it, just that little golden nugget of information, of a seed of light that's been planted inside you, and that you nurture it now. And if something knocks you off balance, then that's normally the reason why you need to then move on to the next part of your healing process. So somebody might come back after 3 months and say, oh my God, Mark, I've never felt so good for 3 months, and then something happened, and they'll then start to tell me what it was, and that's what they need to heal. But then they recognize what it was. So just giving them a little snippet of information to make them become the healer, become the teacher, the guide of their own journey, is also a beautiful thing. So I found that really worked well in my healing practice. And it was lovely because so many people didn't hold me in high regard. They actually said, no, he just gave me some energy, and I fixed myself. I realized what was wrong with me, right? And that was lovely, because then I wasn't put on a pedestal, and I wasn't needed by anybody. In fact, I used to spend most of my time, whether it was in houses, whether it was in retreats, wherever, to make them become the healer. So you are the healer, not me. You don't need me. You're the healer. You can fix yourself. You know, that was my main job, because I realized that I didn't want clients to come to me always sick and ill. I wanted them to heal themselves. And if they thought that it was me who healed them, they'd always then come back to me. So that didn't make me happy. And when people used to say to me, when do I come back again? I feel amazing, when do I come back again? I'd say, I have no idea. I don't know who you are. I don't know how you're feeling tomorrow. I don't know how you're feeling in 6 months. Only you know you might never have to come back. You might have healed yourself now, and you might begin the journey of your own healing path that takes you to other modalities of healing. So, be the healer. Listen to you. And that's why I call it pure energy healing. There's nothing more pure than giving back to your client and making them the true healer. So, yes, it's true that when we've had a healing session, our energy slightly changes. And then we have to come to terms with that, be aware of that, because sometimes you can feel so fucking good that it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, because then you think, oh, I don't want to go back to being bad again, and then you'll talk yourself to back being bad. So that is another thing that, like, why am I not feeling the same? Because I'm talking myself out of it. So you can self-sabotage yourself again. But if you see that, because Mark said, oh, look, whenever you change and you feel that negative, ask yourself why. And that's when a lot of clients used to say, Mark, I had a healing session with you, and about 9 weeks later, I realized that it was me who was sabotaging myself, or it was my husband, it was my mother-in-law. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? So now you're on your next level of trying to, create a better environment in your life, because sometimes your environment, your space, can be the cause. When we talk about inner child trauma and things like that, I don't really need to talk about that too much, because a healing session normally clears that and fixes that without any words. So it just heals. And then I tell you what washes over you, a sense of forgiveness, letting go, and ultimately, if you've got all of those things, then you've come to a point of inner peace in your mind. So a lot of my clients used to say, I've never felt this peace before. So you don't feel peace if you are still thinking about your trauma. So your trauma does get healed with a good healing session. It really does. And sometimes I noticed a lot of modalities that I've seen can sometimes bring up deeper trauma into people that then causes more of an issue when you talk about it all the time. So for me, okay, I understand that some people want to talk about it, and I've noticed that a lot of my clients over the years, wherever I went in the world, if it was wherever it was, I used to go and work with psychologists, psychiatrists in their practices. And the psychologist after that day's work would say, Mark, I've been working on this person for about 9 years. And one session of healing, it's like they're healed. And I used to say, well, I don't know what it is about healing, but it seems to clear a lot of trauma without even talking about it. And that pisses a lot of people off. That really pisses a lot of practitioners off who teach psychology and all of these things. It's one thing talking about it, but when you can heal somebody and make them feel wonderful without any thought of trauma, without any knee-jerk reaction as they did before the healing session, then there's something in that, and it's something worth talking about. And that's why I try to encourage pure energy healing, or any kind of energy healing, if you know what you're doing, in the sense of you're healthy, you're well, you're full of good energy, love, then you're an easy channel for this energy to pour through you. And if you can teach this at school, from child to child, then you'll find that any trauma that child has disappears. But you see, darkness runs this world. Darkness runs the schooling system. Darkness runs politics. Darkness runs everything that is controlling you. So darkness does not want a child to be healthy and strong and free from trauma, because darkness feeds from trauma. Darkness feeds from school prisons where kids feel sick. Darkness feeds from prisons. Darkness feeds from hospitals. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's true. And if we can get more healers into all of these places, you'll find that, these people will clear their negativity, their trauma, entities, and all the things that attach to us from day to day. And a healing session can do that. And it's incredible. But I've tried to share that with the world, and I realized, you know what, you come back to yourself, you've tried to heal the world, you've gone to the top of your mountain, you've screamed and shouted, ain't gonna happen. So what do? You work on yourself, you be the best example you can, you be the lighthouse, and those around you will see it and feel it. And if they feel it and see it, think, oh, you know what, I like that, let's see if I can heal from that, let's see if this works, let's give it a try. And that's as much as you're here to do. I am a sweeper of doorsteps. That's it. Once I've swept your doorstep, it's up to you to continue sweeping it. That's it. And I think we all are. One way or another, we're all a sweeper of somebody else's doorsteps. But, there's a big but here, most of us don't sweep our own doorsteps. And I think that's where we go wrong. So maybe today, a really, really nice ending to this video is be the sweeper of your own doorstep today. Have a great day. Love you all. Bye for now.